This is Starr Radio UK.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, and a very good evening and welcome to Wednesday edition of Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I welcome you all as you're joining us this evening, coming up to 22 minutes past the 1800 hours. I would like to say that, first and foremost, I'd like to appreciate those that are working behind the scene to make sure that we can be on as usual on every Wednesday to those of our listeners from different part of the globe. It is the finest. It is your African Caribbean radio station in London. I'm going to be your host tonight to take you through the very beautiful broadcast that we have tonight, where we will continue from where we stopped last week. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and today being the 16th day of February 2020, 16th day of February 2022. Quite a lot is happening in Nigeria, I've got to be honest with you. But before we go into the broadcast this evening, we also like to say to those of you that have just joined us, if you're driving home, increase the volume, but make sure you concentrate. And if you're also at home, you might want to get a seat because we have a lot in the pipeline to discuss this evening. As we all know, Nigeria, a country that has been together for almost 108 years now since the amalgamation. There's quite a lot that is happening. There's quite a lot of different views about the continuation of Nigeria and whether Nigeria itself will hold as we're going into the 2023 general election. There's been a lot of different views of different individuals, of different categories of people, whether those that believe that the country will hold before 2023, and those that are thinking that the country needs to be restructured. Some believe that the country also needs to completely, especially what we call the 1999 military decree, whether that itself must continue. So all these are part of the conversation that we're going to be discussing tonight on Niger Voices, and I would like you to make sure you stay tuned throughout the end of the program. The program is going to be break to an end just before 8 o'clock tonight. Once again, we do. I know there's quite a lot of noise, but we hope to say that maybe everything is clear. So let me just pick up, the signal from the other platform to make sure that everything is going as smooth as possible. Once again, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, where we're just about to kickstart the evening broadcast as usual. Again, today sent to be the birthday of Omo Yele Showore. Showore is actually 51 years today, and on this platform, we would like to say happy birthday to him. If you all remember, Showore was in our studio just before the 2019 general election when we hosted him, and had a kind of an interview with him. So on this platform, we will say happy birthday to an icon that have stood his ground to fight for the injustice that has been done on so many Nigerians, that have also used his platform known as Sahara Reporter to also fight the cause of the injustice that has been put on millions of Nigerians, whether they are from the Yoruba, the Igbo, or the Hausa, or the other ethnic groups as well. And likewise, as we can always say, that injustice to one is injustice to all. So on the background there was the picture of myself when Showore was in the studio with me. That was just before the 2019 general election. This evening, I'm going to be looking at the issue of what we called the APC government. If you all remember, this government came, on the mantle that they will be fixing some of the problems, they will be rectifying the issues affecting Nigerians from different parts of the globe. But the question I'm asking some Nigerians this evening is, have those issues been solved? Has the government done exactly what they promised when they were coming to power in 2015, just before that? I've gone back to review some of what, their legacy, or no, not legacy because they're still literally on. I'm talking about some of their campaign promises. Remember when APC was coming to power, there was quite a lot of different promises that was made to millions of Nigerians. First and foremost, I would like to say good evening to those of you that have joined us. Good evening to Oluremi. Good evening to you, Kilani, Sulaiman. Good evening to you, Oduatide, Terry, Omoalade. Good evening. Good evening to you, Ibukun. Good evening, Samson, Ogunlaru. Good evening to you as you're joining the broadcast from different platforms as you're watching. Good evening to you, Ajibade. Good evening to you, Musba, Olayemi. Good evening, Felix. Good evening, Alaji Idris Muhyiddin. And we say welcome to Starr Radio UK. We once again say happy birthday to Omo Yele Showore on behalf of myself and the team right here in the studio. So this evening, we will continue from where we started last week. And where we started last week, it's all about the campaign promises of the APC government when they were coming to power, and the all current affairs today continue to focus on Nigeria. I'm going to look at the time check, how many days, how many months, how many weeks before the general election. But the question is, are we allowed to go into an election with the fraudulent 1999 military decree? As of today, according to Starr Radio UK, 359 days, 5 hours, 31 minutes, and 11 seconds. And the good thing we also like to say is we can confirm from this studio, right from here, that Olayomi, that was kidnapped by the Nigerian government in his home on November 7, has now been released after a lot of conversation, a lot of, us shouting that we cannot continue to allow, a government of democratic to continue to believe that we are now in a military era. After almost spending 3 months in nowhere, we don't know until we probably get an interview with him, we'll be able to know what has happened to him since November the 7th. For those of you that might not know this face, let's try and change the background. I'm waiting for the technical team to do that. And that is the face of Olayomi. He's a Yoruba man that was kidnapped from his house in southwest of Ibadan. And we can confirm that, as much as a lot of you do not understand that the way the politics works in Nigeria, we have a sitting governor that should have been asking the question, where is my citizen? But rather, some of these politicians care less about their citizens. And that is the question whether Nigerians still believe in the PDP or APC, or you think that it's time now that we start demanding for a full referendum. So all I can say tonight is our brother, our father, our uncle, Olayomi, has now been found and he has now come back home. And I believe that in the next couple of days, we will find out exactly what has happened to him since he was kidnapped. Just as Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya by the Nigerian government. Nnamdi Kanu was in the court today. We're going to be discussing that fully in just about a few minutes. So the question again is, do we allow all this to continue to happen in terms of the injustice that millions of Nigerians are facing on a daily basis? This is why we are here. Focus Nigeria, Starr Radio UK, Niger Voices. First and foremost, again, I would like to say thank you very much to Archie and likewise to Frank and all the other persons as well. Like I said, we will first listen to, one of the legal team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just for us to get a clarity of what happened in the court. Nnamdi Kanu, as we know, was somewhere in Kenya on a British passport until somewhere around June. The federal government brought him to Abuja. And the question is, how? What happened? How did that manage to occur? Only for us to find out after, the legal team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was able to pay him a visit, and they realized that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, rendition back to Nigeria. The Nigerian government is putting a 15-count charge on him, and that is something that his legal team has debunked to say you cannot have a 15 count on him because first and foremost, Nnamdi Kanu was not broadcasting from Nigeria, he was broadcasting from London. And Nigerian government does not have the sovereignty of another nation. And also, Nnamdi Kanu on the 14th of September 2017 had to literally run away from his house, whisk away, because the federal government and their security operatives wanted to kill him. 24 innocent people were killed. 24 innocent Igbo people were killed on that fateful day, September 14, 2017. And this is how Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail, but he literally ran away for his life, just as Chief Sunday Igboho did the same thing when his house was invaded on the 1st of July 2021, and they wanted to kill him, but unfortunately, he, at the whisk, also had to run away for his life. 2 innocent people were killed on that fateful day. A cat was killed, not one cat, multiple cats were killed, and some were taken away. The body of those that were killed have not been returned. 12 innocent Yorubas has to face what we call humane and injustice. And the question to Nigerian is, for how long do you want to continue to allow this injustice because you want to be part of a country that does not respect or does not give value to lives? Last week, Thursday, 13 innocent lives were killed in Oyo State in Idiakwe. As I speak to you today, one person was killed in Surulere. A 35 or I believe a 39-year-old woman was killed during an armed robbery surge. The question then is security really working in Nigeria, and what has gone wrong? So, but let's first go straight to pick up the the picture and the view of what happened during the court appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja this afternoon. We believe that Nnamdi Kanu has already gone through a lot, but the question is, for how long? Just as Sowore has been kept in Abuja, Sowore is our brother, like I always say. Sowore has been held in Abuja for almost going to 2.5 years now, and we saw not just that alone, we also saw that his brother was killed last year because of the terrorist attack that has occurred in Nigeria that have taken so many lives in the northern part of Nigeria, in the middle belt, in the southeast and the southwest. If you're just joining us, this is Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this program comes on air every Wednesday, as we've been doing it in the last 5 years. So we're waiting for the picture to come up of what happened in Abuja when Nnamdi Kanu appeared today. So those of us that have been following this APC government, has this government done more damage? Has this government been able to unite Nigeria? Has this government been able to progress Nigeria forward? Has this government given you the security? What has the APC government done for you? That is the question tonight. And like I say, we have the link already there by the engineer, and we should be getting the sound feed very soon to give us exactly what happened today at the hearing of Nnamdi Kanu. Let's get that audio on and let's hear what he has to say after the court appearance of Nnamdi Kanu.
No, not the two applications.
So that is, the legal team of Mazinam Decano. And I say thank you very much once again to those of you that have joined us right there. And thank you very much to the back end team and the technical team. I'd like to welcome Miles Gold, Pastor Mo, and Ibukun, and those of you that have joined us so far. Three questions I'm asking this evening is, as the APC government of Buhari and Osibajo and all their cabinet officers and their ministers from the state to the federal, have they been able to unite Nigeria? Have there been any progress in Nigeria? And have there been what we call the stable security that they did promise when they were coming to office? These are the questions that we're going to be asking again this evening. But once again, it's coming up to 18:40, which is about 20 minutes before the hour of 7 p.m. APC came with the mantle, to bring better things and better opportunity to millions of Nigerians from wherever you are. They were trying to get the power. They couldn't get it until the merger that came together, and that formed the formation of the APC. And we saw how they were able to defeat the PDP. But before then, we saw how, they came on board to tell us everything in terms of how they would do everything in terms of everything you can think of, the inflation, the security. Let us listen to what Rotimi Amechi had to tell Nigerians during the period of December 23rd, 2014, as the campaign has already kickstarted for the presidential election of what we now saw and what we are reviewing this evening on Starr Radio UK. If you've just joined us, this is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, Starr Radio UK. I want you to take note of that word, strong leader. Do you agree? 6 years, less than 10 months before this government wind down, do you believe that Buhari is a strong leader or just a lazy leader that have literally failed millions of Nigerians? People are being kidnapped, people are being killed, ransom are being paid on a daily basis across almost every part of Nigeria. So I want you to remember that word. Is Buhari a strong leader, or just one other president in African country that have failed the citizen back in Nigeria? Again, you need a strong leader to chase away the Boko Haram. This is coming from, the campaign team during the 2014, as they were about to tell Nigerians their promises and what they will be doing. So what we are doing on Starr Radio UK, the 16th of February 2022 tonight, is we are reviewing back what Amechi and the rest of the team, Osibajo, Buhari, and the rest of all the cabinet, the promises that was made to you. And the question is, do you think that this government have chased away the Boko Haram, or have allowed the influx, according to the United Nations, that told us that ISIL is now permanent in Nigeria? So the question then is, where have all the trillions of dollars been spent? What happened to it? We are now seeing exposition of corruptions of fraudulent money being moved from different points. We've seen Abakara as an example. We've seen the current ambassador to Benin Republic, Buratai, that was the chief of defense staff. We saw the mess that they've left Nigeria. The question I'm asking Nigerians this evening again is, do you think that this government has performed as expected to you in Nigeria today, and to those of you that are outside Nigeria trying to become an investor, trying to invest in Nigeria, trying to set up a small-scale businesses? Do you think that this government has really helped you? That is the question tonight. That is what we are reviewing as we continue to say Nigeria is really at the verge of a breakup. So it's giving you the statistics prior to becoming, when they were campaigning about, 32 people have been. I mean, can you tell us how many people now? Rotimi Amechi is the transport minister in Nigeria. Can he come out now and tell us how many Nigerians have been killed for the last 6 years of this government? How many Nigerians had to pay ransom before they can get their freedom that the government security agency were unable to support? How many Nigerians have become homeless in the IDP camps? How many Nigerians have left Nigeria because of some other atrocity and criminality of a government that is meant to protect the lives of Nigerians? So the question is, as we're heading to 2023, the options is still on the table for Nigerians. Do you want to continue with Nigeria, or do you now start reviewing whether you really are a Nigerian or you want to demand for a referendum? Some say restructure the country. Some say we should go back to the regional government. Some say the whole constitution is just a mirage. Let's hear more from what Rotimi Amechi, that is now the current Minister for Transportation in Nigeria, was telling us about some of the killings that took place before the government came to position. But the question then is, can he come out and tell us how many Nigerians have been killed so far since Buhari and Osibajo and the rest of his team came to power? He says Buhari would deal with that. My question to those of you that are listening to us this evening is, as the Nigerian government headed by Buhari, that is currently in Belgium this evening as I speak to you, and Yemi Osibajo, also known as a pastor, have they done the needful to make sure that your life is now well secured as a citizen of Nigeria? According to Ibukun says, a strong leader mentioned does not exist in the principle, enough is enough. Once again, a very good evening as you're joining us. I am speaking directly to those that still believe in Nigeria, which has to do with your own constitutional right. It has to do with your own will to believe in Nigeria. But I am revealing what the government have done in the last 6 years, less than 12 months before the APC government finally wind down. My question then is, has this government been able to unite Nigeria? Has this government been able to progress Nigeria forward, or have we literally moved backward to where we are even before the PDP that came to power from 1999 and wrecked the whole country to a total corruption, from Obasanjo, to Jonathan, to Yaradua, to every single one of them, that we are now revealing some of their atrocity that have been perpetrated on millions of Nigerians. That is the question tonight. That is what we are asking you to decide whether truly and truly Nigeria is truly still going to survive in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. Once again, I say good evening. If you're just joining us, let's hear more from what Rotimi Amechi, the current Minister for Transportation, has to say. Once again, if those of you that are listening to us on, again, would like to say thank you very much to every media and everyone that makes sure that Tulayo came back as well. Let's go back to that audio. Okay, so we're going to leave that because it also seems that is not synchronizing very well with the studio link back in the studio. But what I'll do is I might be playing that from the other device, because I've just picked up that some of what we've been playing have not literally reflect back to the studio. But that won't be a problem. We will solve that as quickly as possible. Once again, we would like to appreciate every single one of you that have joined us this evening on Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My question then is, do we continue with the issues that we have now, or do we deal with that, as quickly as possible? So, Nigerians have the opportunity to decide now, or we leave it This is what Showore was also fighting for. Showore said there's a lot of injustice in Nigeria. Nigerians' lives become very difficult on a daily basis. I was watching a video that was sent from Abuja. Fuel scarcity is almost in every part of the country right now. The inflation is going up. The government continue to borrow, whereas Nigerians are still living in abject poverty. As I speak to you today, Nigeria remains the capital poverty of the world. That means an average Nigerian do not have less than $2 to feed themselves. The salaries are not paid. ASU is on strike as I speak to you right now. NUPENG is going on strike very soon from what we are hearing. So all these issues doesn't seem to be going nowhere. But the question is, do we allow this to continue or do we do something around it? And if we have to do something around it, when do we do it? Do we just leave the whole system to continue as it is, or should we say enough is enough? My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is still Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, where every Wednesday it's all about focus on Nigeria. For how long must Nigerians have to face these difficulties that the government that promises almost everything? So like I said, because of the sound bite that was not coming back to the studio link, I will be playing the rest of the audio that we have from a different device that will then filter through into that. We might be deceiving ourselves that Nigeria is a country that has a potential. But my question, looking at the this government 6 years down the line, it has literally put more Nigerians in danger than what we expected before. So let us now prepare the next audio, and this is when Buhari was going around campaigning for that election in 2014/2015. Let's hear a little bit from that. Once again, as we say, the longer we leave the situation, the longer more Nigerians will be facing the consequence of living in a country that is still standing at the third global terrorism index, where we have multiple people living in there. So this was a campaign trail. Let's hear the soundbite.
After the flag off for their presidential campaign in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, the train is making a stop here in Calabar. Although devoid of all the trappings of glitz, glamour, and personalities that grace the flag off, the message remains the same. Power must change hands. All that done and over, the party's flag bearer made his way to the platform.
The government of APC will attack head-on insecurity and the economy.
You heard him there. The government of the APC will attack head-on, this insecurity in the country. My question to those of you that are listening to all this evening then is, has the government been able to work on the security in Nigeria, or have Nigerians been left to secure themselves, as some of the governors have told us as well? Let's hear more from what Buhari was saying during the campaign trail in 2014.
My next appeal to you is to make sure you get your permanent voters card. And you make sure on the election day, come rain, come sunshine.
On the election day,
10, 9, 8, 9, 7, 8, 6, 5.
On the election day, according to Buhari, get your PVC, come rain, come sunshine. So some of you that voted for Buhari in 2014 and probably maybe in 2019, what is your take? Do you still think that this government did the best thing for Nigerians, or what actually is your own belief on this particular situation? According to Oluremi, says Buhari's government has definitely brought the country backward. So that means the country has now moved forward in terms of progression. Let's hear more from some of those campaign promises in 2014.
Try and put up with any extortion or problem put before you. Go and vote and make sure your vote counts.
Make sure your vote counts was what Buhari said in 2014. A very good evening to you, Grace Olushoto. Good evening to you, to those of you that are still joining us on all the platforms, whether you're listening to us on our own platform or you're joining us through Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. It is the African and Caribbean radio station in London. And this is a program that we've done for the last 5 years, and it's still going stronger every Wednesday, where we talk about every injustice, everything about Nigeria and Nigerians outside Nigeria that are doing very well as well. But some are now saying it seems it is time now to hang the boot and change the direction for those that are demanding for a full self-determination to have their nation of their own. It has been done before in Soviet Union some 30 years ago. The country was dissolved into 15 different countries, and we can see one of those countries is Ukraine, that is now having issues in the borderline with them in Russia, that have tried to see maybe there might be some kind of a war going on. A very good evening to you, African Confidential. Good evening, Ade Williams. Good evening, Idia to Moriana. And those of you that have joined us on all the platforms, all hail the Biafrans, the Yorubas, the non-Yorubas, those that still believe in Nigeria as well. But the question tonight is, for how long must Nigerians continue to suffer the injustice done on them on a daily basis? Again, as we continue to celebrate Omoyele Showere's 51st birthday on this broadcast, that was myself and him when he was in the studio with me just prior before the 2019 election here in London. A very good evening to you, Babajide Olubosun. Good evening to you, Omola Owolola Olarewaju Arowolo. Good evening, Chinedu Innocent Eze. Friday, good evening. James, good evening. Balex Bright, good evening. Climate, good evening. Ayomiku Ola Oton, good evening. Okidoki, good evening. Adeyemi Michael Jonado, good evening. Olamuyiwa Adebanjo, good evening. Emmanuel Gabriel, good evening. And if you're watching us from the southeast, the north part of the country, you can also indicate what part of the world you're listening from. Especially, we'd like to know from our listeners in Nigeria. Let's hear more from the campaign trail of the APC government in 2014, leading to the election in 2015.
From Calabar, the campaign train of General Buhari moved on to the oil-rich city of Warri in Delta State. Do you want change in Delta State? Do you want change? That was the language that was used, during the campaign. Do you want change? And when it was coming up to 2019, it was the next level. My question now is, have there been any change in Nigeria since this government came? Have there been any progress in Nigeria? Has this government unite Nigeria in terms of some of the issues, compressed on a daily basis? We saw how Chief Sunday Igboho was attacked in his house. We saw how Nnamdi Kanu was almost killed. 24 innocent people died, during that raid in 2017. Faith Davis says, I think we should say enough is enough. Professor Akintoye once said he's going to declare Yoruba Nation, but we don't know when. But I believe you guys are working relentlessly hard on this. Baba has already declared no election in Yoruba Nation, and that is exactly what it is. We have been listening to from Birmingham here in UK, a very, very populous with so many of our ethnic background of people living there. I say thank you very much, fam. Adeyemi that is listening to us all the way from Birmingham. You can also indicate where you're listening from so that we can give you a shout out to those of you that are listening to us from different parts of the globe. My name is Olayomi Koiki. This is Star Radio UK. Our first song will be coming up just before 7 p.m. But let's hear the last bit of this campaign trail of the APC government in 2014, leading to the election of 2015.
We want to thank you. We want to appreciate you. And we ask you to stand firm as soldiers of change. In Edo State, we did it. And I know in Delta State, you will do it even better. Okay? Here, the presidential flag bearer promised that his administration will apply the party's manifesto to the...
According to Oluo Joseph, Buhari regime report sheet is F9 parallel. Do you agree with him? Otumba Adekunle, a very good evening to you. Ayo Ade say Buhari is very, very incompetent. And nice go say happy birthday to Omoyele Sowore. Once again, we're saying happy birthday to our own Omoyele Sowore, as it's still been locked down in Abuja for something that wouldn't have occurred in the Western world.
If elected at the 2015 polls, we intend to secure this country
Buhari says he intends to secure the country. Why has Nigeria remained number 3 under the Global Terrorism Index? As we speak right now, more ISOs are having Nigeria has become the epic center of ISO, where people are now, living in fear. We have somebody that is still in the hands of the kidnappers, even at the ransom of 4.5 million, prepared to be paid, but she's not yet been released. Good evening to you once again, Olanrewaju, Arowolo, and those of you that have joined us on Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Thank you very much to my producer that are working very hard behind the scene. Let's go back and hear more from what Buhari has to say during that campaign trail.
As soon as we can and efficiently manage it, we do not like the unemployment, the suffering.
Buhari is talking about the unemployment. The question that I'm asking this evening is, what is the statistics ratio of the unemployment? Faith Davis says, none so far since this administration came to power. What is the unemployment ratio? We have more Nigerians that are losing their jobs because there's no job in the first place. Rather than creating jobs, Buhari says federal government do not provide jobs. Government do not provide jobs. We're not saying the government should provide jobs, but have the government of Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo provide that enabling environment, which is very, very key. The enabling environment is what provides the jobs. It's what allows the investors to come in when they believe in the policy, in the process of a system. So my question again tonight is, more people will not come into the country. They'll rather go to Ghana, other African countries, because of the policies and some areas that they think that it might not be beneficial for them, when we cannot even have a judicial system that the DSS can listen to. Imagine if an investor has to bring in a $1 million project to Nigeria, and they have a legal issue, and they have to take whoever or whatever, whether it's the government institution or individuals, to the court, and we don't have a judicial system that is very, very robust. How do you expect the investor, to bring back, a kind of a system that they will expect to work? So some of these reasons are why investors are running away. We saw how Twitter, was blocked for a very long time in Nigeria. But Buhari, 6 years, 12 months before leaving power, they've done more damage in terms of unemployment in Nigeria today. Again, as we prepare the first music for this evening, let us more from the campaign trail.
The low standard of education, the lack of health care.
Again, he talked about the lack of health care. Those of you at home, those of you that have families at home, what has changed in terms of the health care from the general hospital, whether the private hospital, the primary health care center? Has anything changed, in terms of the health issues around your own loved ones back in Nigeria? Because I know from my own loved ones that there have been very difficulties when it comes to, getting access to a good health care in Nigeria. Do you think that Nigerians have been able to have access to good health care? Again, as we continue to review this, Ibukun says a government that attacks its own citizens with impunity. Enough is enough. Yoruba nation self-determination now. Once again, Cole Julmulo says happy birthday to you, long life and prosperity to Omoyele Sowore, as we continue to celebrate him on this platform, because he is one of us, not just from the media angle, but someone and a friend to Starr Radio UK, which is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Once again, let us pick some of the other, good evening to you, Ahmed Mamadou. Good evening to you, Adiola Lukman, and those of you that have joined us on all the different platforms that are watching from different parts of the globe. Once again, this is your finest African Caribbean radio station in London, Naija Voices, with Olayomi Koiki. We're going to leave that campaign trail for now, and as I prepare for my first beautiful track this evening, is a song that I love so much, but it is not in English. Unfortunately, it is in our own local language, but I'm sure some of you would enjoy it by the time we bring it up in just about a few minutes when the engineer have it all ready to go. And this is our first track this evening, Orile Mi. Orile means a nation, and this has also been the argument as we go into the second part of this broadcast. Is Yoruba Nation demanding to become a political party, or Yoruba Nation is not a political party? It seems a lot of those at home are mixing it up. Yoruba Nation is not a political party, is neither a PDP or APC, it's just those that are demanding their right to have an independent nation. Starr Radio UK, Orile Mi, the first track of this evening. Keep your comment coming on. I'll keep reading it out to those of you that are watching us. Kennedy, good evening to you. Good evening to those that are listening to those of us right here on this broadcast this evening. And we have been listening as far as Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, Malaysia, Egypt, all over the world. That is the beauty of the technology in the 21st century. I'm asking the question, progress, unity, what else? You can add yours. Has this government done everything to bring progress to Nigeria, unity to Nigeria? That's the question I'd like you to answer. It is not a crime to ask for self-determination. It has been done in the past. It is still being done as we speak right now. We will not be the first or the last demanding to opt out of a country like Nigeria. Last week, I looked into about two different campaign promises of the APC. I'm just going to give you a quick brief of those two before we move into the others. Some of that was a ban on government officials from going to abroad for medical treatment, but we saw that Buhari spent more time abroad while he was in the office. State and community failed. We know that development has never happened. Tonight, we're going to be looking at public declaration of asset and liability and introduction of the national gender policy that offer 35% appointment to women. All these were part of the failure of the APC promises campaign. This song is coming out from Janet. Says Orile de Mi means my own nation. One thing a lot of Nigerians will be asking themselves is, what has APC done for them? And that's what we are looking at this evening. Public declaration of asset and liability. President Buhari had many times during the 2015 election campaign vowed to declare his asset and make the report public. However, he is yet to release the full report of his asset declaration to the public month to the end of his administration. Asked during his first media chat on December 30, 2015, the president said he has declared his asset 4 times, but declined when pressed to release the document to Premium Times, which had earlier sent an FOI, Freedom of Information request to the Code of Conduct Bureau to make the report available to it. The CCB had responded that only the president could authorize the release of the report to the media. These were part of what the promises Buhari made to Nigerians, that I will declare my asset. I will let you know if I have 10 cows in Castina, if I have a house in Abuja, if my family has a house in London or America. But as we speak today, the 16th day of December 2022, less than 12 months, 365 days or thereabout, I believe, 359 days rather, this government is winding down, but Buhari has failed to declare his asset. 9 minutes past 1700 hours. or 1900 hours rather, not 17. I beg your pardon. My question then to those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe is, for how long does politicians tell lies? They come up and tell you everything that you need to know. We saw them now preparing again for the 2023 general election. They are moving from point A to point B. They are trying to woo different, individuals to come out again and vote for them in 2023. But some of their campaign promises were not fulfilled. Are you going to be voting for them again? Whether it's APC or PDP. Public declaration is very, very important. We want to know what belongs to who. So that by the time you leave the office, we can go back and ask the question whether those other areas that we've noticed that it seems this property belongs to you. But this has not happened. Thank you very much, Cole. Ganiat Sami says, Konira Isa, Mr. Koiki, Eledumare, Agbo Itowa, Agbe Etowa Funwa, Laipe, and she's also sending happy birthday, long life and prosperity to our own Omoyele Showore. The picture behind there was when Showore was in the studio with me just before the 2019 general election. As we continue to review the campaign promises of the APC, my question to every Nigerian that are listening to us around the globe is, has the country been united? Progress, security, welfare, education. As we speak right now, ASU has currently gone on strike. So that means all the university students are out of school as we speak right now. Let's go to number 4. Introduction of the National Gender Policy, an offer of 35% appointment to women. Again, is a failure of the APC promises. President Buhari reneged on his promise earlier in the life of his administration by appointing only 6 out of the 36 ministers he used in forming his cabinet in November. Today, with the exit of Mrs. Kemi Adeosun after she was busted for using a fake NYSC discharge certificate, and Amina Al-Hassan, who left to contest election in Taraba State, Mr. Buhari has not deemed it fit to replace the 2 ministers with the new ones. This perhaps underscore why he told journalists in Germany after a meeting with the country chancellor Angela Merkel when she was there in October 2016 rather. I don't know which party my wife belongs to, but she belongs to my kitchen and my living room and the other room. I'm sure you all remember that phrase, the other room. So Buhari believes that there's no point that women should be put into more position. Rather, they can be in the other room. Once again, a very good evening and welcome. As we continue to ask the question, what has changed in your lives? Has anything changed? The next one is quite upsetting because that is where millions of youth have been affected. Millions of Nigerians have been affected with the next one. Creation of 3 million jobs per year. Buhari government says, I will create millions of jobs in their trillions to every part of the country. Scale, large, medium enterprise. For those that wants to run businesses that need forex. Again, Faith David said, Yoruba Nation is not a political party. Please let all of us on this platform focus on achieving our goal, which is Yoruba Nation not going back. A very good evening to you, Salami Wale Ibrahim Sunday. Good evening to those of you that are listening to us in Port Harcourt, in the Northwest, Northeast, in Middle Belt. Buhari government promises was that I will provide 3 million jobs per year. So if we calculate from 2015 till now, we should be talking about in their millions, about 12, if not more, to 15 million jobs created. The question is, more Nigerians are now doing rituals to create wealth for themselves. I'm not sure how they want to do that. Good evening to you, Adik Akun, Lekon David. Welcome to the program. How do Buhari wants to do that is the question I'm asking. How is this government going to create these enabling jobs for millions of Nigerians when the country, when they are already winding down as well? Once again, good evening to those of you that have joined us on Starr Radio UK. Instead of creating 3 million jobs per year, which could have accumulated in a total of 12 million jobs in 4 years, that's exactly what I said. The unemployment rate under Buhari administration and Osibajo has risen from 18.8% in the Q3. This was even our statistics of 2017 to 23.1% in the third quarter of 2018. And that number keeps growing up. The question then is, good evening, Akiyemi Bolaji, welcome to the program. This is Starr Radio UK as we continue to discuss what has happened with this government. Good evening to you, Mrs. Ademola Yetunde JP, welcome to the program. Olafisheyi Olawale will welcome you. The beauty about the new technology is we can see who is watching us, who is commenting, just the same way you can see me. This was not done some 30 years ago for those that were presenting on the radio. You probably hear their voice alone, but you probably wouldn't be able to see their faces. But this time around, with the beauty of technology, the question again is, we're still looking at the campaign promises of the APC. Millions of Nigerians do not have jobs. Rather, millions of them want to drive Range Rover, they want to live a better life, and we started seeing ritual cases. I was watching a video where somebody was literally bought human head for 20,000 naira. This happened in Nigeria, for those of you that are not from Nigeria. We have seen children killing each other. We have seen children busting shops. We've seen armed robbery cases happening. As of today, somewhere in Aguda, a woman was killed in a shop. Ahmed Salima Akonde, welcome to the program. Kamaruddin, I say good evening to you. So those of you in Nigeria, my question is, do you still believe that this country can hold table together, or what do you think needs to be done? The revival of Ajaokuta Steel Company, another failure of Buhari and Osibajo government. Anyanwu says, anybody talking about election now instead of nationwide referendum or discussion does not love Nigerians. Do you agree with Berechi Anyanwu? We saw how Nnamdi Kanu was molested, was kidnapped, rendition back to Nigeria. But the government said we have 15 count charges on him. But his lawyer says that cannot happen. You need to tell us how you brought him back to Nigeria, because he's a British citizen and he has renounced or denounced his Nigerian passport. He hasn't declined to say, I am not the leader of IPOB. All he says is, I am not the leader of the proscribed IPOB from the federal government. He's still the leader, according to Mike, the senior advocate of Nigeria that has also added to the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu. We'll be talking more about Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho while he's still being held. 48 hours from now, Chief Sunday Igboho will be spending 7 months in the captivity of the hands of the federal government, working in conjunction with the Beninese government. Igboho is held there because it was demanding part of what this government should have done for every part of the country, which is the security. That was what Igboho was saying until the federal government of Nigeria of Osibajo and Buhari wanted to kill him, assassinate him. The government cannot deny that they were not involved. But what the government says is they had intelligence that Igboho was stockpiling arms. But the government decided to invade his house. 2 innocent Nigerians, 2 innocent Yorubas were killed. And as we speak today, Igboho was running away for his life, just as those in the previous time, like Professor Wale Soyinka and the rest of those that ran away during the Abacha era. The question then is, are we truly in a democratic government, or we are back to the military era? Millions of Nigerians, as I speak to you today, are more scared of living in Nigeria because they believe that whatever they say, the government will pick them up. To Laoyo, we can now confirm, has been released. We will find out what happened. 3 months that he was kidnapped from his home in Ibadan. Again, we would like to confirm that Igbowo that has been held in Benin Republic, a lot of politicians want that to be so because they believe that Chief Sunday Igbowo out of Benin Republic will be a problem as the election is coming. Ilana Moldua, UK, and Ilana Worldwide will be taking the British government to the High Court here in UK to talk about the crime of the 1914 amalgamation. Kolawole Kamarudin says Dangote refinery is to determine pump price for Nigeria. Same on Niger. Thank you very much. As you continue to get your comment in, we'll continue to read it out. Adek Lakun, Lekon Davis says, I agree with Anyanwu. What do you agree? That is what Anyanwu says. Anybody talking about election now instead of election-wide referendum or discussion does not love Nigerians. This government says we will revive Ajaokuta Steel, but despite the above promises, the government is yet to take any concrete action to revive the giant steel in Kogi State. The House of Representatives on December 6 adopted a report calling on Buhari to terminate the reconciliation deal on the national steel firm. The lawmakers made the call during the debate on the report of the ad hoc committee upon committee upon committee. This government also promised you the creation of a social welfare program where a minimum of 5,000 naira will be paid to 25 million poorest and most vulnerable citizens. Another failure of this government. My question then to those of you that are watching us from Nigeria is, what is your pass mark for this government? If you are meant to give a pass mark from 0, which is the lowest, 10 is the highest, what will be your pass mark? Let me start reading those comments out as well. 0 is the lowest, 1 better, 2 a little bit better, 3 not too bad, 10 the highest, but 0 is the lowest. What is your pass mark for the APC government, as this government is already winding down? Is another election in 359 days going to solve the problem of Nigeria? Or should we all start debating about a referendum from all the House of Representatives and House of Reps in Nigeria? Once again, a very good evening and welcome to those of you that have joined us. Good evening to you, Olatunji Babatunde. Adeoti Ramoni says, Equator, Mr. Koiki, Ekushe, God bless you all for Yoruba Atata in Yoruba Nation. Olorun yo pẹ̀lú wa. Olóyè Sunday Igboho Oòṣà, Atayese Abiyamo Ọ̀rúnmìlà, Ṣàngó Ògún Muhammadu, Jésù Kristi, Mose of Yoruba land. Dr. Benjamin said, where is Ninas and Tony Nnamdi? A question double mark with a frown face. Grace Olúṣọ̀tọ̀, Mrs. Ìpínlẹ̀ Yorùbá tuntun kò sí ìdánidúró kankan tàbí ìfòyà ṣùgbọ́n ìmúlẹ̀ kanlẹ̀ filẹ̀. That Yoruba is too much for me, bear with me. Kamarudin says revolution date is August 5, 2022. Wow! We continue to say we love Omoyele Sowore and we continue to ask the government that it must be released unconditionally, just as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Sunday Igboho. A lot of people are already putting out their pass mark for the Nigerian government of the APC. Some call it different names. Some say this APC has failed Nigerians. Do you agree? 0 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. Some say 2, some say -0. Wow, I thought I only said 0. Somebody's already putting minus on it. Akinyemi Bolaji said, why can't Nigerian government charge Nnamdi Kanu for saying Buhari is dead? Wow, that is not part of the 15 count charge because they will have to do a DNA of Buhari. If Buhari has to charge Nnamdi Kanu for saying that Buhari is dead, remember even Buhari himself says, I'm told that I'm dead, but I'm here, I'm not dead. So if they have to put those count charges on it, that means there will have to be what we call a DNA test. Do you think that the government will allow a DNA test on Buhari to confirm that Nnamdi Kanu saying Buhari is dead is something that we can do? A DNA to confirm that whether that is the real Buhari or the fake Buhari. This is going to get interesting. I thought that would be part of the count charges of Nnamdi Kanu, but rather this government says Nnamdi Kanu was broadcasting from London. Almost everybody so far says zero on this government. Wow. Once again, thank you very much. Keep your comment coming and I'll keep talking about it. It's coming up to 24 minutes past. Again, I'll be discussing everything about the self-determination just very soon. We're going to get the next track ready. But for now, the campaign promises generated a serious controversy when the president denied he or the APC ever made such promises, contrary to one of the campaign billboards that was strategically placed at Mabush flyover. The billboard, which carried the picture of Mr. Buhari and his vice president Yemi Osinbajo, announced the deal will pay every unemployed graduate in the country $5,000. Till date, the government has not implemented the policy, and the party has rather explained the failure away by blaming the PDP for looting the treasury, even when a large numbers of the ruling parties were PDP. So it doesn't make any difference. When they tell you we're looking for APC, just find them in the PDP. When they tell you they're looking for PDP, you can find them in the APC. This government promises 5,000 naira to 25 million vulnerable Nigerians. My question is, I hope you are getting yours paid as well. Moren Kayo says, my brother, F9 for Nigeria, Yoruba National no going back. Almost everybody is putting zero to say that this government has literally failed in everything you can think of. Afenifere already scatter all things fall apart. That is coming from Kolawole Kamarudin. Who still believe in the Afenifere? How many of us believe in them? Some even say that Afenifere is still the they're still the spokes, for the Yorubas. Do you agree with that? That the Afenifere speaks on our behalf? I laughed when I saw that message, that Afenifere speaks on our behalf. Who is Afenifere? Afenifere that could not tell the government what we really want. Afenifere that keeps asking for restructuring for the last 30 years and they're playing with the lives of many Yoruba people. Do you believe in Afenifere, yes or no? It's just a simple question and answer. Do you believe in Afenifere? Yes, I believe. No, I don't believe. If you want to give explanation, I will read the comment out. Good evening to you, Fatai Ogumefun. Welcome to the program. Do you believe in Afenifere? As we continue to ask for the mark of APC government, which has been from Buhari to Osinbajo, a lot of you are saying zero. Somebody said, James Lincoln said, they are not Afenifere, they are Afenifebi. What is the meaning of Afenifebi? For the benefit of our listeners that are not Yorubas. Fatai Ogumefun said, if there is anything below zero, I will give APC. Oh my Lord. Emmanuel Agbara Oluwa said minus 100. Akiyemi says, no, Afenifere do not speak for the Yoruba people. Why? Buhari and Osinbajo say they will give you a fast-growing emerging economy in the world. But today, instead of building one of the fastest-growing economy in the world, the Nigerian economy slipped into recession and has since been struggling amid high inflation. As I speak today right now, exchange rate keeps going up. Some say, we don't need exchange rate. I only spend naira. But almost everything imported into the country has to be paid not in naira, my friend. It has to be paid in dollar. So if you say that it doesn't concern you, I'm not spending dollar, Yomi. So why is my problem about this dollar issue? But everything that got imported into the country is paid in dollar. Nobody's going to accept your naira around the globe because your naira is like a tissue paper. Somebody say Afenifere is a scam. I didn't say so. Adeleke said so. Afenifere is a scam. A lot of people are also saying no, Afenifere do not speak. Shola say they speak for themselves. So as Afenifere lost the credibility to the Yoruba people, is that what you're all saying? Our mother, Amina says, no, we don't believe in them. So are we saying that Afenifere is no longer credible, speak on behalf of the Yoruba because they've been demanding for restructuring and each of the politicians have been playing them like Maradona? Who saw the video of Tinubu, the national leader, not chairman, the national leader of the APC. We saw him have this kind of a poo-poo or wetness at his back. Who saw the video? Some of his team are denying it. They say that is just a photo shot. Was that a photo shot? The national leader, was he using a pampas or the pampas got soaked? I'm not sure what happened at Awujale Palace in Ijebu-Ode when Tinubu took his campaign trail there. Even one of his friends, his campaign, one of his old 419, as I will call them, politician, Aregbesola, also says Tinubu Atole. When somebody pee on their self is the meaning of Atole, for those of you that do not understand that in Yoruba. It's going to get interesting as the APC might be dividing before the next election. PDP might also divide because there's a lot of issue. But for now, we are reviewing the APC campaign trail and promises. James Lincoln said, Afenifere are only representing their pocket. Cole says, yes, I saw the video. But the Tinubu teams are saying that video is just a Photoshop. Adelakon says the one I hate most among them is Osibajo, a whole pastor, and Babadeboye cannot talk to him. What do you expect them? Ajayi says, I still believe in Afenifere because they are still part of Yoruba nation. Okay, I love that. At least we now have somebody that still believes in Afenifere. Cole Tinubu is 419. Sam says Afenifere doesn't represent Yoruba voice, but their members' interest. The longer follow Awozim led down by Chief Obafemi Awolowo. I'd like to appreciate those of you that are still with us on Instagram, on the MixLR. Continue to keep your comment coming. We're just on the last lap of this broadcast. Let's get the next audio ready. Is Nigeria under pressure? Are we under any kind of pressure? Do you think that Nigeria is under pressure? Under pressure, under pressure. We remember the song. Are we under any kind of pressure? That is the question tonight. Let's hear from the next line of music. Once again, happy birthday to our own brother Omoyele Sowore as he's celebrating his birthday in the hands of the federal government. One more time, please. One more time. Are we really under pressure, or is this just a gimmick that everything will be better? It's just a matter of time. What is your take on that? Let's hear from you. Are we under pressure? What do you think is going to happen before 2023? There's a lot of pressure out there. The university students are already at home, and the question then is, for how long will they be sitting at home? Do you think that Nigeria is under pressure, or is this just going to fade away? Is everything going to get normal? What is your take on that? Do you think that Nigeria is under pressure, or this is just something like some people say, God is aware about the situation in Nigeria? You know, everything in Nigeria is all about the God. Do you think things will get better? I'm asking the question. This is the question. So many campaign promises, and all those promises have failed. In just about 26 minutes, we'll be winding down from this part of the globe. As I'd like to say, thank you very much to almost everyone that have joined us on Starr Radio UK this evening. As usual, we are here every Wednesday. For those of you that probably are joining us for the first time, you can catch me up every Wednesday, Starr Radio UK, where we talk about everything on Nigeria and Nigerians outside Nigeria, so that we can continue to say something back in Nigeria. And we do know 359 days before election, what do you think is going to happen? These are the questions I'm asking every one of you. Do you think that we are under pressure, or is this something that will go away anytime soon? It's just something that we are facing. And those that are asking for self-determination, do you think that they have the right to self-determination? I say yes, everybody has the right to self-determination. Once again, it is still Starr Radio UK. We're just about 24 minutes before the end of this program. Why do you think we are under a kind of a pressure at the moment? What do you think, and why are we under pressure? You know, what are the reason why? What are the reason why Nigerians are under pressure? Is it because of bad leadership? Is it because of the 1914 amalgamation? Is it because of the incompetence of the APC government that said that we will bring Nigerians to the standard world, we will give Nigerians what they want, things will be better? But yet, as we campaign now, almost 6 years down the line, this government have not been able to do all those campaign promises. Was it because there was no money in the coffer? What do you think was all the reason for all these? These are the questions I'm asking us tonight. Let's get your view on that as well. That is just one out of the last track that we're going to be playing tonight. We hope we get the next track ready as we now start to wind down. Now, let's focus on Chief Sunday Igboho's case, and also ask the question, as we know, 48 hours from now, yes, almost 48 hours, Chief Sunday Igboho will be spending almost 7 months in the hands of the DSS. For those that do not know who this person is, let's give you a picture of what it looks like. Chief Sunday Igboho was detained in Benin Republic on his way to Germany with his wife. That's the picture of the individual that we are discussing right now, for those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe. Chief Sunday Igboho is a freedom fighter that was demanding that the people being killed in the southwest of Nigeria is not something that can be tolerated in the 21st century. That did not go well with this current government, and they had to do everything to try to eliminate and kill him. James Lincoln said the primary problem of Nigeria is not the leadership. Nigeria has a foundation problem, needed a foundation solution. We can't build on a wrong foundation called Nigeria. Yoruba nation is the only answer, according to Akinyemi Bolaji. James Lincoln said if Nigerian budget is $10 trillion, it will not reflect on the citizens. Let's come back now and discuss about Chief Sunday Igboho. Once again, if you've just joined us, this is Starr Radio UK, and that is the face of the person that we are just about to discuss right now. He was detained in Benin Republic on the 19th of July 2021 after he was running away for his life. The government of Buhari and Osibajo sent some kind of security operative to his house in the middle of the night, just about 1:30 a.m. About almost 500 of them. And the question is, what was his offense? The federal government, according to the DSS or the SSS, says they believe they have information that he was stockpiling arms in his house. He was not invited, but rather, in the middle of the night, while people were sleeping, Igboho's house, as is known, was invaded. And to put on record as well, that also the current governor of Oyo State is involved because he is the chief security, and also evidence point that he gave the authorization that Igboho's house should be invaded. My question now to those around the globe, be it United Nations, human rights, and everyone that we can think of, why is injustice done on some individuals and the world keeps quiet? That is the question that we are asking here on Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigerians would like to know, why should Igboho still face this injustice committed by the same government that we have been complaining? James Lincoln said the safety of the Yoruba's people is paramount to the CSI. He can't trade that for money. Free Chief Sunday Igboho is not a criminal. 48 hours from now, Igboho will be spending the 7th month in Benin Republic for an offense he has not committed. So the question to those of you that are listening and watching us tonight is, what offense has he committed? None, apart from demanding that people should not be killed. That doesn't seem to be going very well with the federal government. And the federal government have rather decided to put more pressure on the country called Benin Republic, a population less than Lagos State, not to release Sunday Igboho. The court case has become wind down. They have not charged him for any offense. He's a citizen of the ECOWAS that was passing through. He did not have any organization set up in Benin. He was using that as a route of escape for his life that was under threat. But like I said, is Nigeria really going to survive with this situation? Igboho is held, Nnamdi Kanu is held, Omoyele Sowore is held, injustice across every part of Nigeria as we speak today. Ajayi says Nigeria, because Nigeria is under pressure because of the failure of our government, because our government doesn't respect our right as citizens. The question is, do you ever have right in the first place? Nobody has right because the government has trampled on the right of the citizens. So almost everyone in Nigeria today, right has been trampled on. If you speak, you will be picked up. If you do not speak, you are literally going to be molested or abused by the security operatives in any part of Nigeria today. James Lincoln said Buhari and Osibajo regime are killing innocent citizens, taking away their bodies for asking for self-determination. Self-determination is not a crime. Omodaramola says, Free Chief Sunday Igboho, he is not a criminal. And we have all these leaders, we have these Yoruba politicians, we have all these royal fathers that have all kept quiet and hoping that election will fulfill while Igboho is in Benin Republic. Thank you very much, Victories on Instagram, and those of you that are continuing to listen to us on all the platforms. We will still continue from next week again to review everything about APC government. Go Juwon says, what offense Igboho has committed? Question mark. That is the question that we have been asking Benin Republic. We do know that an ECOWAS court case is currently ongoing, and we do know that more individuals are trying to do something to make sure that Igboho can regain his freedom. We have the criminals, the terrorists operating across the whole of Nigeria, and no one is running after them. No DSS is going to bust them. No DSS is looking after them. But rather, those that are asking for security of their people have now become a target to the government. Can this government hold this together before 2023 is the question that people are saying. As we are just about 15 minutes away before tonight's program, I'm asking the question again. For how long can you hold Igboho before the people react back in Nigeria? We have the next track ready, but it's going to be again in our language, which is the Yoruba language. This was produced for Chief Sunday Igboho by Janet. And as we're getting that ready, I say good evening one more, and let's hear that. It's called Arabani, Arabani by Janet. A very good evening once again. It's just time check is 1946, which exactly means 7:46 p.m. local time, 16th of February, Niger Voices. As we continue to demand the release of Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. Once again, happy birthday to Showore, as we continue to ask that Nnamdi Kanu must be free unconditionally, and likewise all the political prisoners that has been held in the captivity of this government. Thank you very much, Akonji Odewumi. A very good evening, says F9 from Alakonji Ojo Snow. Good evening to you, Akinshola. Taiwo Banuso says Yoruba nation will move, no going back. The politicians will fight to get a seat in the moving train to freedom in the Yoruba nation. Ajayi Olorunsogo Olawale say, please, why kill him? Because people ask for their right. That is the question we do not understand. Chief Sunday Igboho is not a criminal. 7 months in the next 48 hours he will be spending in Benin Republic. A very good evening to you, Oluwaseyi John Shegun. Welcome to the broadcast. And those of you, we are just under 12 minutes before the end of tonight's program. I'd like to appreciate my producer. Tomorrow, I will be back again at 11 o'clock on Starr Radio UK. And if you're sending money home to your loved ones, remember to use SendWaves. James Lincoln says Nigeria is a crime against humanity. As we continue to read some of your comment, Aki Yemi Balachi, Nigeria is not for me, and you, Nigeria Nation, is the only way out. Why is Chief Sunday Igboho still being held in Benin Republic is the question that we're asking millions of citizens around the world that love freedom. Next week, I'm going to continue on the issue of these, some of the campaign promises of the APC, but we will continue to monitor so many issues on the ground. 359 days again as we continue to monitor some of those days before the no election, as some people are saying, we will not go for election based on the fraudulent military decree 1999 constitution. If somebody said to you, Nigeria, what will come up to your mind? Just one question before we go again, in just about 10 minutes before I hand over back to the studio. If somebody said to you, Nigeria, what would literally come up to your mind? Ritual killings daily basis, campaign for all that is something that we will continue to ask the world. Why sit back and look back when injustice, genocide is literally being committed in the southeast, in the southwest, in the middle belt, and the northern part of Nigeria, and the international community are doing less to that? In 48 hours from now, Chief Sunday Igboho will be spending 7 months in Benin Republic just because it's demanding something better for those in the southwest. Starr Radio UK every Wednesday is when we've come up with this program. You can join me from 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. for those of you watching from Nigeria. And this program, like I said, has been coming up for almost 5 years now. And if you'd like to sponsor, just reach out to us and we will connect you with a producer that can tell you more about what you need to do. Chief Sunday Igboho's house was destroyed. 2 innocent lives were killed. For those of you that might probably not understand, again, what is going on in the story of this individual. And let me show you a picture of him again as we're trying to wind out of this broadcast this evening. That is the person we are discussing, Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, that has now held in Benin Republic. 6 months is coming up to 7 months in the next 48 hours. A lot of people are saying that a referendum is the only way out now instead of an election in Nigeria. Do you agree that a referendum is the best option? As people are asking the question, is we that ask for referendum, but the politician says election is the best option to keep Nigeria together. I'm just about 7 minutes away. I'll be handing over back to the studio in less than 7 minutes. But from me, I'd like to appreciate and say thank you very much to those of you that had the opportunity to listen to us from different parts of the globe. We couldn't have done this without you as we continue to celebrate Amoyele Sowore. Grace Dada, Mrs. says, Nigeria is a scam. And I continue to read some of your comments before I will be handing over back to the studio. James Lincoln also say, APC and PDP are the same product in a different brand. Politics of Nigeria doesn't improve the life of the citizens. Nigerian politicians are not there for the betterment of the people. Nigerian politicians and Nigeria as a business. Have you been following the story of this Super Cup? Do you believe that it should be charged in America or be charged in Nigeria? Which one do you take? Because I believe that something is not right. Why is it that when the Americans requested the Super Cup known as Abba Cairo is now being pertailed to known as a drug cartel, rather than we saying send him to America so that he can first be sentenced to whatever offenses is done there, and then we bring it back to Nigeria after that. But it seems something is not right. Do you agree with me, or is it just myself thinking in that direction? Do you think that Abba Taylor, as is known, now a drug dealer, according to the NDLA, are they telling us that this is the first time they'll be able to pick something around him, even though something of such might have been happening? I don't seem to believe the whole story about Abba Taylor that is linked with Hush Puppy in America that is currently going through a trial and will be sentenced very soon. Do you believe in the story that he was in drug, or is just something being cooked by the Northerners to keep him in Nigeria? Again, do you believe that Abba the Taylor, is something that the government is trying to hide something from us? Good evening to you, Maureen Kenyo Badejo, and welcome to the program as we're just about 4 minutes before my timeout, and I'll be handing over back to the studio where we say thank you very much once again to the producer and the engineer and the sound engineer that have worked behind the team this evening with myself, and also to every single one of you that have joined us on all the different platforms. We couldn't have done this without you being part of it today. Like I said, 4 minutes, I'll be handing over back to the studio. Again, that behind me is the picture of myself and Omoyele Sowore in the studio just before the 2019 election during his campaign here in London, that we invited him to come and tell us something about what he wanted to do, but it doesn't seem Nigerians believe in him. And at the end of the day, APC was voted in. 6 years, Nigerians are now crying loud, and I'm not sure whether Sowore will be contesting again. He hasn't given that option, but very soon we'll be bringing him to come and speak to us again on Starr Radio UK. Like I said, we had also Fela Durotoye in the studio. Then it was amazing to have all these individuals to come and tell Nigerians their vision, when they were contesting for presidential, seat. But unfortunately, Nigerians do not believe in Sowore. Neither do they believe in Lester Soyode or Fela Durotoye or all the other one, Kingsley Moghalu. But they rather believe in Buhari and Osibajo and APC. And now APC has literally failed millions of Nigerians as the country continued to go into what we call the recession, the inflation, the insecurity, the welfare. Almost everything is like diarrhea in Nigeria. And that is why also the leader of the National Party himself has been using what we might call Pampers, because that video I saw is not a Photoshop. Do we continue to allow individuals and those that are different ethnic groups to wipe us out of the surface of this world? Or is it time to say, let us demand for referendum? That's the question that I'm asking as someone that believes that Yoruba should stand on their own, not literally this, the position of Starr Radio UK, but that is my own view, that is my position. I believe a nation can emerge, and not just one nation, multiple nations that can then work together, in their different, nations, and say what we can do together, whether the Arewa nation, the Igbo nation, other nations as well. So as is done in the past, Soviet Union dissolved in 1990, 15 different countries came out of it. There's nothing to say Nigeria cannot break. Nigeria break is for the good of Nigerians, because Nigeria as it is now is as worthless as anything you can think of, not even the valueless of human life as we speak today. Last week, Thursday, 13 lives were wasted in Nigeria, in southwest, in Idiakwe, in Ibadan. The governor, Seyi Makinde, has not even had the guts to pay visit to some of the families that were killed during that robbery siege. And the question is, let us dissolve Nigeria so that we can have a better opportunity for the next generation. As I say good evening to you all, I will now hand over back to the studio, and I say thank you very much once again. It's exactly 19:59 from here. Also, the town hall media will be on later on tonight, from what I'm told, and the wife of the late Chief Femko Abiola, Mrs. Modupeola Onitiri Abiola, will be speaking to all the media from the Yoruba Nation platforms. Make sure you tune in and plug into them as well. Let's hear what she has to say, because she has been coming out and been demanding that the Yorubas are better off rather than being part of Nigeria. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I've been your host this evening on what we can call, the Yoruba Nation, self-determination that I totally believe in, and I hope that some of you that still believe in Nigeria. The question is, can politicians solve all the problems? Good evening to you, Yeye Oge, as we're just about to check out. Once more, I say thank you very much to everyone that have joined us. Make sure you follow us on Starr Radio UK on all our social media handle. I can now say thank you very much. From this part of the globe, I say Udabo. As is said in the Yoruba language, I say bye-bye for now. I'll be back again, same time next week. On this show, I say it is always the best to give you all the latest news and the updates so far. I'll be back again, same time tomorrow on the Starr Radio morning show, when I'll be presenting the news coming out of Nigeria as usual. On that note, I say au revoir. Bye for now.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and